Hello there YouTubers, this is Paul Bush, aka the Bushy One, and I'm running through how to fit a Android 7.1 stereo system to a Hyundai i10 from 2007 to 2014. First of all, I'll have a quick look at the actual stereo itself and then run through some of the options that you have. Now this stereo was bought through AliExpress. It was shipped by DHL and it took around about 2 weeks to actually arrive. We have a whole host of cables and wires for the installation. We have a GPS module which will have to be fitted to the car. We have the adapter for the radio antenna. We have a microphone system for hands-free calling. And we have here what is the main radio connector to connect to the current configuration of the car, plus some additional video inputs and outputs. Now some of these I won't be using, some of these I will be using. There's one here called camera in. I will be using that because I do intend fitting a reversing camera onto the car itself. The other wire here I'll be interested in is also again for the reverse, so that the stereo knows that the car is going to reverse, but more on that later. Now we do have some additional cables which I'm not going to be using, various USB connectors and other wiring for if you're going to be installing a subwoofer or you have a subwoofer already installed in your car. There are no actual instructions coming with the stereo, but you do have a sticker on the top which goes through all the connections that are on the back of the stereo itself. The ones that we are interested in again are going to be the one here for the GPS, the one for the radio antenna, hands-free, and over here is the main connector for the stereo itself, which will also enable us to do the reversing. This is the front here of the actual touchscreen. There's a USB connection down at the bottom here, and you have a couple of SD points here. One for GPS. It came preloaded with a GPS memory card already, and I'll run through more of that once I get the unit installed and powered up. Now, as I explained earlier, I do intend to fit a reversing camera onto this car. I bought one which is kind of a standard unit, yet again from AliExpress. It costs about £10. And in this pack you get a camera which can then get fitted where your registration light is on the reverse of the car, and it comes with a couple of connections to fit in. The actual lead on the camera itself is quite short, and what you have is a power connection to add in, and then a quite a long video connection and an additional wire here which is to be used for the 12 volt supply to the reversing on the stereo. Now I will run through later on how I got the main plastic fabrication off the stereo, but here it is at the moment. Now this can be a little bit of a tricky job, but there are 4 main areas to tackle when trying to remove this. It's the clips, which was one here, and the same on the other side, which is here and here. Now this video won't include how I actually removed it, a live demonstration, It was a little bit difficult, and it's not something that I want to do on a regular basis. But essentially what I had to do was I actually had a steel guitar plectrum, which was very thin. I think it was 0.5 millimeters, and just around these points here and here I pushed in the steel plectrum just to open up the housing ever so slightly from the dash, and then did get in with a screwdriver. That created minimal impact. Once I just eased it out here, then here, and the other two on the opposite side, the actual the housing itself came away quite easily at that point. As long as you stick to those 4 places, you'll be absolutely fine. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to the car, look towards removing the existing stereo, and then look towards doing the installation of the GPS signal, the microphone, and the camera itself. Hello, and we're in the car now, and I've now put the surround back in temporarily. As mentioned, the 4 points here, and here. If you concentrate around those, that's when the surround will come out, and as you can see, there's some clip points here, and here. To remove the stereo, it seems like quite a simple process, just 4 screws. Okay, the one thing I have to remove at this point, which you can't see, is for the warning light. There's 2 screws to undo. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to have to do is have a quick look around the best way to get the wiring through for the reversing camera, the speaker, and where to position the GPS. So I'll start to have a look. Back in a bit. Okay, after a quick look around, the best route to go would be through the passenger side of the car. Now, I had a quick look in the cavity here, where you can't really see, there's not a lot of light in there. But as it happens, the cavity actually opens up into the glove compartment. So if I hold the torch under here and the glove compartment, you can see through. So it's quite an easy cable routing across there. Now, what I did do is I just had a quick look at the side here. This came out very, very easily. I was quite surprised. I just applied a little bit of pressure here at the top, so that's pull, and these two clips here and here just popped out, and the entire thing came out. So we're going to have good access up to this point here. That would be great for things like the GPS. Now, I'm not too sure whether I want to keep the speaker on this side. I'll see. I can actually thread the speaker across here quite easily. As long as the speaker wire is long enough, and that would be great to have it here. I'm very happy with that. And then I've got to continue across here for the reversing camera. So I'll start to get some cables threaded through and see what's next. Okay, so what I've done is I've managed to put the microphone here, the GPS here. There's plenty of room under here for threading the wires out, so they came to here, and I've then got my reversing cable here, so just kind of lashed through just here. I take the bundle of 3 wires together, and I've just shoved them through a hole here because, like I see, it's quite large. You can get my hand in there quite well. So you won't be able to see probably, but they are actually, if I look, it's a bit blurry. If I look, I can actually see the wires in the back. So I've got myself the old wire coat hanger to go trying to drag the wires through. Okay, that was a little bit of more of a faff than I thought it was going to be, but we've got the 3 wires through. It's the main thing, and I'm just going to tidy these up with some cable ties now. I can start thinking about putting that cover back on. In fact, no, well, I'll leave that off until I've got the reversing camera all installed in case I need to put any more slack through. Okay, so this is about 10-15 minutes later. I managed to get the cable threaded through here very easily, just past the door. You can see the cable here. I've popped this away. I just kind of started at the bottom and pried it, and it all came away relatively easily. Not quite as easy as one on the front of the car, but it is away. And then I start working out where the wire looms were for the reversing, because we do need to pull off the reversing signal. And I took the backlight off, which was just 3 screws, 1, 2, 3 here. And then I have been having a look to see what the wiring is, and there's a white wire here and a black wire here, and the black wire is the ground going to all the lights there, and the white wire is actually the reversing signal. So I now know what wires I've got to use. It is this harness
isn't very long, so it is going to be a little bit difficult attaching my wires onto here, but that'll be fine. I will need a soldering iron and some tape and whatnot to do that, but I should be able to do that. So really the next step to get that bit sorted out is going to be to work out how we replace the light under here, which is this section here. So I'll pop that off. Just a very quick update here. I've put the power cable, just tied it up here very temporarily, and the video cable down through here to plug into the device. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to patch off the power cable here onto this one, solder them both together, and get those taped up, and then I'm going to solder these two onto the wires here just by stripping a little bit of insulation back on the wires I need to, and then just soldering them with tape back inside there. So all in all, very close to getting this section. Okay, so I've now soldered the two red wires together at that point there. I've just added a bit of extra masking tape, or gaffer tape, to the connectors here. They just were push fittings, so I was a little bit worried them coming off. And I've refitted the light here, and I'm going to push it all in there and get it all tucked away, and I'll be over there. It's a little bit dark outside now, but you can see here there's two wires going up. We've got the feed to the camera, which is actually being tapped off from the reverse light, and the signal there for the actual video itself. Both those cables now have been routed all the way back through to the stereo itself, and I'm going to give it all a try.
Okay, it's actually the next day now. I did get everything finished off last night, but it's a little bit too dark to do any filming, so I've had a bit of a play with the unit now. I've got everything put back in. I've got the surround put back in round here. Everything seems to be working as you'd expect. So I boot the stereo up, go home. This is the general setup screen. The reversing camera works very well. Put the car into reverse, then we get the camera popping up at the back, come back out reverse, and we get the general dashboard. Everything's been connected. The Bluetooth works very well. I'm not going to go through the features of the device. There's plenty of videos on YouTube about how these devices work with the navigation and the Bluetooth and various other bits and bobs. This is more of an installation video to show the head unit being installed into a Hyundai i10. I hope it's been helpful, and leave any comments, any questions that you've got about the installation. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.